Hey foodie friends, what are we going to make today? I'm going to make stuffed lobster tails. And I had an idea last night that I haven't seen anybody try, and I'm going to make it on taco stands. Let's get cooking. I was thinking about doing these on the grill, but as you see, it's a little cold outside. I have not done stuffed lobster in years. I don't even know if I did a video on it. I'd have to go look. So my cast of characters are the lobster, and in this case shrimp, or you could do crab or fish, whatever you choose. Just we're going to keep it all raw, and they're all going to bake together. And a little bit of sugar in the form of Splenda monk fruit, butter, lemon pepper, a little bit of crab seasoning, garlic powder, and dill weed mainly for color. It gives it an interesting little flavor, or you could use parsley flakes or nothing, but I like to put a little greenery in there. Just a touch of breadcrumbs. This is to make everything stick together. Mayonnaise and mustard. They smell really good, really fresh, and I actually thawed them out in the fridge for a couple of days, and they're ready to be handled. I'm gonna give them a quick rinse in the sink. I'll be right back. So some people will go ahead and cut down the middle of the back like they do in restaurants to make it look real pretty. Or you can take your food grade, and when I say food grade, there's strong scissors that you want to use just for food if you can. And they would also snip it down, which is safer to snip it that way, but then shells go flying everywhere. And you have to kind of pull everything above it or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over and cut down either side, taking out the softer belly. And the nice thing is you're doing it away from your hand so that you don't lose a digit. I'm going to do that to each one. And just cut this little belly part off, and in the trash it goes. You want to make sure these little fins are off too. Just to make the presentation a little nicer. Now all I have to do is just pull the meat out, and you can get maybe some kind of utensil up in there. I just put my finger in there, and it just pulls right out, like so. We're going to use the shell, so hang on to that. Now me personally, I don't like this chewy part, this outer part. I tend to go ahead and cut or rip that off. That's up to you. It's going to kind of curl up, get kind of tough. Also, you want to make sure that there's no, well, we'll call it deveining, but you want to clean the poop out of it if there is any. So I like to cut it open and see if there's anything in there. Apparently, he didn't have any dinner before he got caught, so we're good there. So we can use the knife or the scissors to just kind of cut this edge off. I think I'll do it with the scissors because it's a little bit easier to control. Yeah, I just don't like that chewy part. All right, so let me do these other ones and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have taken out all the meat. I'm getting ready to cut it up. I've cleaned out the shells. And when I say cleaned them out, I just emptied the shells. So to get these out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and set them in these little taco shell holders, and now they're lobster shell holders. How you like that? So their little tail hang on the end if you need more room. And they're all ready to be filled. So I'm going to chop the lobster into really tiny little pieces so that they mesh well with all the other stuff I'm going to do. If you come across anything that looks a little tough, just throw it to the side. It's much nicer to have a really nice tender stuffed lobster. Or you can just cut long ways and then cut across. Try to keep your fingers curled in, you don't want to chop them off. So let me know if you've ever made like a stuffed lobster or stuffed crab or stuffed whatever. Let me know what you did and how did it turn out? How did you make it? I like the price at Sam's. And you can always order this stuff online, but online, I'm telling you, this stuff is expensive. And sometimes Sam's will have things on sale. I'd have to look back, but I don't think it was on sale, but that's okay. So we have that all chopped up. Now I'm going to deal with the shrimp. And you want to feel each piece of shrimp. These are already deveined, detailed. You can, do all that yourself if you want. But I like to feel and make sure after I've washed them, they've been washed, just to make sure there's no shell, because sometimes they'll have a little shell left in there, or some of their little legs. If they go scurrying across the table, then you know they still have their little legs on. And how much shrimp? I don't know. It's how much do you want that lobster to be stuffed? I don't do measurements, as you know. So far, so good. I haven't felt any shells or little legs. It's funny how when I used to watch food channels on TV, everything was always so perfect and clean, and they would cut things up and things just disappeared. Us small fries on YouTube, we just got to throw the stuff away ourselves, clean up everything. But that's okay, that's part of the fun of it. I'm going to go ahead and chop these shrimp into also smaller than bite-sized pieces, because I want everything to not be too chunky and to stick together really well, which is the only reason I'm going to use a little bit of breadcrumbs. Just kind of binds everything together. Kind of like when you do a meatloaf. Just helps all that meat stick together. I know Sam's and Walmart are quite similar, but yet I bought shrimp from Sam's and it was more of a tougher, almost like a tiger shrimp. And then the stuff from Walmart is more of a tender, more neutral, less fishy. It smells really good. It's like super neutral. It's not fishy at all. Same with the lobster. It smells really good. Let's get our bowl. Toss all that in there and hang tight because we're going to turn this into something beautiful. Now I'm going to melt the butter and get some of these ingredients together. And if you've seen some of my past videos, I tend to clean cutting boards and different things with 91% rubbing alcohol that I just put in this spray bottle. And you just spray it on everything, let it sit a couple minutes, and wash it out. I've melted some butter and I'm going to put a little bit in the mixture and also save some at the end to brush on top when it's done. Just put a little bit in. I don't want to put too much, just a little bit. Get you a paper towel so you can put it back over here so it doesn't drip on everything. Again, with me, I don't do a lot of measurements, but you can always add and you can't take away. So I'm just going to go with a little bit of lemon pepper, which I at first thought had no sodium, but it does have some sodium, so it has some salt in it. It's not just lemon and pepper. So just put a little bit, just for seasoning, just for flavoring. Gives it a little nice color too. It smells really good. As soon as I put it in there, it smells amazing. A little bit of my crab seasoning, and a little bit of this goes a long way, so I don't want to put too much. Just a little bit, just like a dash or so. A little bit of garlic. And generally, if you're cutting carbs, this is a really nice low carb dish as well. But I'm going to serve it with some garlic Texas toast, so there. A little bit of dill weed, just for color. I'll show you what that looks like so far. And again, as if we're doing a meatloaf, but I'm going to use less than I would normally use in a meatloaf, just a smidge of the breadcrumbs. We don't want it to be all filler. Like I said, that'll help it all stick together. Some mayonnaise, which will also help it stick together, but will also give it some moisture, a little bit of fat and moisture, because this stuff is pretty lean. I did I say about 1.5 spoonfuls. And some mustard. You don't have to, but I've just noticed recently that mustard is really quite good in lots of things, including seafood. And just to cheat and add a little sweetness, since the southern ones aren't nearly as sweet as the northern lobster, put in my little packets of Splenda monk fruit sugar substitute. But just use real sugar or whatever you want, or don't use any sugar. Just like I've done in the past, I'm kind of a hands-in, mix everything more evenly than just with a spoon, hoping for the best. And I try to use my non-ring hand or take the rings off, just so that bacteria and stuff doesn't get stuck in there, even though you're gonna clean your hands. So give it a good mixy-mixy. I'm gonna make sure it's all mixed up really good. You just can't quite do this with a spoon. And if it needs more seasoning at the end, you can just add seasonings on top like you would any other food you're gonna eat. So there's your mixture. Let's get filling. It's starting to get exciting now. So see, I'm just kind of taking gentle handfuls. These two, we want to kind of separate them so that they don't stick together when they cook, but if they do, you just pull them apart. I've never done it this way. I was just thinking last night, I was like, I want to use those lobster tails, and I'm going to stuff them. And the husband's not as big of a fan of fish, but he does like shrimp, especially when he doesn't have to handle it too much. Some people I saw even put cheese in it, and that sounds amazing too. But I didn't want to complicate it too much. And really, this is easier than it looks. You just go step by step, take your time. Ooh, there's gonna be a lot of filling, and this is gonna be good. So I'm gonna take my little fancy-dancy brush here. And it's just, this is, by the way, unsalted butter, because you're gonna put seasonings and all this other stuff. And I'm just gonna drizzle it across the top, just to give it a little extra oomph while it's baking, and to protect that tail. I'm going to cook it until it's bubbly and browning, and definitely cooking it uncovered. I'm going to cook it at 350. I'm going to start with like 10 minutes. It's obviously going to need longer than that. Hit start, and in this case it has a little convection thing. And when we're all done, we'll drizzle that butter over top, and it'll be ready to go. And stay tuned, because the husband and I are going to taste test it together. Okay, so it's been about a total of 30 minutes. It looks really good. Now we're going to drizzle on the butter. Just drizzle it on. Don't be shy. Kind of gives it a nice glistening look. Look at that. Look at it. Yummo. Now I'm going to get the husband in here and we're going to taste test it.
Hello, foodie friends. Today, oh, that's you.
So the hubby is home. How was work?
Work was great.
Great. And we're going to go and give it a try together. So you go ahead and try one. I'm going to try a little piece here. There should be lobster and shrimp mixed in here. Oh, I forgot to show you what it looks like. Now, so far, I got a piece of shrimp and it's amazing. Oh. So there's shrimp and lobster.
And it's on the shell, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. Easy to take out. And I cooked it on taco stands.
That's a good idea, easy to get to.
Oh, that was really good. Perfectly seasoned, because you can't taste test it because it was raw. So you just sort of do a little bit and you can always add, you can't take away.
Yeah, it's really good.
Did you get lobster and shrimp?
I have, yes, I got both.
So we're going to devour this in the other room. I'm going to make some Texas garlic toast with it. And if you like these type of videos, it would be a huge honor to have you subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Yay!